Avatar: The Last Airbender is a series that I wish more people power scaled. Even though it teeters on the line between what some would consider like a shonen anime and others consider a western cartoon, it has all the pieces that make it full of good versus battle matchups. Today we're going to talk about one of the most contentious in the entire series, Azula versus Katara. Azula vs. Katara is one of those fictional matchups in a series that almost happens a bunch of times, but for whatever reason, factors in the story repeatedly make it so the answer of who wins is never shown or directly given. This is due to both benders having essentially opposite strength progressions. Azula is essentially at her normal peak right when we first meet her, and then declines, while Katara is continually getting stronger up until the very last episode of the series. It makes sense why these two are a good matchup for each other generally. When it comes to the new generation of benders, they are respectively the strongest users of their elements, and generally fire and water are considered polar opposites. But with all of that, who was actually stronger, and more importantly, who would actually win in a fight at their respective peaks of power? Let's find out. But before we do, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. It lets me know that you like this content and want to see more of it. Anyways, let's get into the video. When it comes to scaling Avatar, we first need to establish what statements can be taken as legitimate and when it comes to scaling. Within the series, there's a drastic disconnect in scaling statements between those made within the series and by the official writers, and those made by, quote, official sources like the Nickelodeon website and official YouTube channel. For the most part, we will be avoiding all statements that are not officially attributed to an official source like an official book or a statement by a writer. For example, the official Avatar channel actively contradicts itself, like saying Bumi is stronger than Hama in one video while saying he's weaker than her in another one. So there's evidently no internal consistency or communication when it comes to creating these lists, and thus we'll be ignoring them. With all that understood, let's jump into the topic. Azula and Katara really have 3 different confrontations with each other in the main show, and I'll be going over each and discussing what exactly occurred. The first major time Azula and Katara interact in a fight setting is during the chase, when Azula fights all of the future Team Avatar members essentially by herself. I think it's evidently portrayed that Azula is stronger than everyone there, possibly combined. Despite the mental fatigue of everyone present, as she's able to deflect Toph's, Katara's, Aang's, and Zuko's bending all at once, and technically a boomerang as well. The next time Azula and Katara fight is during the final episode of Book 2, The Crossroads of Destiny. It's here that it's made clear that Katara is a lot stronger than before, fighting Azula on even footing and even completely trapping her limbs with her own water tentacles. Their fight is cut short though due to Zuko intervening. The final time they fight is in Sozin's Comet Part 3, in which Katara fights a mentally unstable Azula who is being empowered by Sozin's Comet, eventually beating her by freezing her completely. When it comes to determining who wins here, the closest we ever get to both of them fighting at their normal respective primes comes at the end of Book 2, while in the situation at the end of Book 3 is a little bit more ambiguous. When it comes to pure power though, Sozin's Comet Azula is evidently the strongest. As described by the writers and Avatar extras, Sozin's Comet does indeed make firebenders 100 times more powerful than they normally are, meaning that Ozai was not speaking hyperbolically when describing the strength of the comet as being equivalent to 100 suns. However, many point to Azula's declining mental state as proof that she wasn't at full power at this point, but a decline in her mental state isn't exactly extrapolated on what that actually means for her strength. All we get from it is that it made Zuko think that he couldn't beat her alone before, but now he thinks he can. To put this in another perspective, who would win? Super Saiyan 2 Goku, who's a little bit crazy, or base Goku? This is the same nerf and buff that Azula has against Katara, and she still lost. Like in most cases for fights in Avatar, each bender essentially has a one-shot condition against the other. Azula has her lightning, and Katara has her freezing. Even when not having a massive amount of access to water, Katara is still able to more easily get off her wing condition against Azula, who is essentially spamming her lightning, something Katara was repeatedly dodging and avoiding. Even when Azula is not like spamming her lightning, Katara, as seen in her fight against Azula in Book 2, she's still able to contend with Azula and even potentially overpower her completely, as mentioned earlier. This is also ignoring the fact that Katara did both of these fights while not at her own respective full power, which would be during the full moon. Azula has no counter to something like blood bending. So, when just looking at their fights, Katara is consistently shown to be capable of beating Azula. However, there are also the comics in which both of them have more showings against each other, so does anything actually change? For those who don't know, there are multiple Avatar comic series that tell stories of what happened after the show's ending, being within 2 years of the show's conclusion. In the comic known as The Search, a still mentally unstable Azula lashes out and fights various members of Team Avatar multiple times. Pretty much every single time, she gets blitzed and frozen by Katara before she can even react or dodge. This makes it further consistent that Katara has either continued to get stronger or that mentally unstable Azula was always weaker than peak Katara. In her final appearance in the comic, Smoke and Shadow, Azula regains her mental stability and becomes stronger than before, able to even beat Zuko. However, unfortunately, this version of Azula never really interacts with Katara, so there's no way to know if this version of Azula actually compares to Katara in any way. However, as discussed by Iroh in Legacy of the Fire Nation, Iroh considers Katara the second most powerful bender in the entire era, only second to Aang himself. At worst, this just directly puts peak Katara over Azula, and at best, it puts peak Katara over Ozai, who is also stated to be more powerful than Azula, as he is the strongest firebender alive. So, at the end of the day, pretty much every instance and statement point to Katara being the winner of this one. So, what do you think? Agree with my takes? Let me know how I'm wrong in the comments down below. And you can find me in the Discord server down below if you ever want to debate. See ya!